What exactly is it about Destiny 2 that needs saving? All signs point to Destiny 2 ending quite strongly. Even with the layoffs and the horrible news that came out of Bungie from the last week or so, you would still bet on them to potentially produce something quite promising for the final shape. Now, I'm not saying it's a guaranteed. By no means, nothing is a guarantee. But this is more or less the same studio that gave us the Witch Queen, albeit with the rest of the game in various states of disrepair. That's primarily why it was not considered a Forsaken level expansion, because it didn't do more to revolutionize the other parts of the game that really needed the help. And for the final shape to deliver, it would have to do that. It would not only have to give us this grand finale, the mother of all Bungie storylines, to wrap up 10 years of Destiny 2, but it would also have to rejuvenate and breathe new life into Strikes, Gambit, Crucible, whatever other game modes they want to bring in and consider to be a core philosophy of the game moving forward. They have to do away with the seasonal model, which they are going to do with episodic content, but it remains to be seen if that episodic content will actually stay in the game for people to enjoy in the future, or if it's going to be time-gated or have a time limit on it of like a year or 2 years. And will it also bring stability improvements, bug fixes, actual good service for PvP, especially for those in low and high skill brackets and people like me who live in the Middle East? Will there also be a complete overhaul of how weapons are and how most new weapons coming into the game are reskins? Will there be set difficulty levels? Will we finally do away with the concept of power entirely and just go back to a standard easy, medium, hard, super hard scale of difficulty? And if that's the case, how will you encourage new players to jump into the game and care about getting better loot when difficulty is standardized? Now, these are just some of the thoughts that have come into my head when I'm talking about how good the final shape needs to be. It can't just provide answers for the state of Destiny 2 as we know it. It also has to introduce things that are new, something that makes it novel, something that makes it worth playing, something that changes the Destiny experience for the better. Forsaken was accompanied by the Go Faster update as well, lest we forget that. And that update completely changed. It was a complete 180 from the Destiny 2 that we had up until that point. Similarly, the Taken King just introduced depth in a whole new way that we didn't have with Destiny 1 before that. And other beloved expansions like the Rise of Iron and the Witch Queen added some very, very strong, memorable story beats to an otherwise already existing game that people had already loved at that point. Although how much people loved it and how much people were staying around at that point is really up for debate. Now, because this video is wholly unscripted, there's a good chance I've forgotten what I've said in the beginning. Please bear with me, I'm trying something new. But basically what I'm trying to get at is that everything is riding on the final shape. The expectations couldn't be higher even if we tried. They're practically stratospheric, especially given everything about this game. And if the final shape does not achieve orbit, then Destiny 2 is going to crash and burn. It's really that simple. As a franchise, as an entity, Destiny 2 may as well end after the final shape. Because I don't know about you, but for me certainly, and for most of the colleagues that I've talked to, from all of the comments under my videos talking about Destiny 2 lately, from all the comments under everybody else's videos talking about where they're going to go after the Destiny 2 ends, there is a very strong common theme in that everybody is going to say sayonara after the final shape. I'm seeing it through, and then I'm done. I'm really curious to see how it ends, and then I'm done. The final shape cannot just keep those people around. You can't just turn to a customer as they're leaving your store and say, okay, 25% off, and I'll throw in another item of your choosing. That's good for that one time. But in terms of getting them to come back, the quality of the goods that you're selling need to be top-notch. They need to be outstanding. And right now, Destiny 2 isn't that. Final Shape would have to revolutionize the entire game to the point where it may as well be called Destiny 3, which is ironically perhaps the one thing that can actually save Destiny as a franchise if the final shape does not go to plan. It's Destiny 3. Because the funny number going up means a lot in the gaming universe. The funny number goes up represents a clean slate. The funny number going up means that people are willing to let bygones be bygones and let the past experiences of Destiny 2 be exactly what those are. Past experiences. Destiny 3, new game. 3 is a good number for Bungie. They've made some pretty memorable games before with the number 3. Just the one. But you know what I'm trying to say. With the new game would have the opportunity to rewrite the image of the game itself and provide a serious platform for investors to sign off and say, yes, go get some new people, bring them in, let's do another live service, or whatever the case may be. Having a sequel at this point in time for the Destiny franchise makes more sense than not to do it, just from a pure conceptual standpoint alone, because I don't know how long it takes to make a video game. I've never done it, and I don't know how realistic it would be given the resources of Bungie, minus 100, just the whatever goes into making a video game. I'm not a coder, I don't pretend to be. But of course it would be incredibly challenging, not just for Bungie, who rely on Destiny 2 as their main bread and butter in order to develop Marathon and whatever other projects they have in the works, but also from the community side as well. There's a good chance if you stop Destiny 2 right now, this community will never come back, because they will be burned by the journey up until this point. They may have good reason not to trust Bungie after most of their senior PvP devs went to Marathon. They may decide, you know what, I've had enough. If Destiny ends, thank God I'm free from the cycle, etc., etc. In which case I would say go see a therapist, you have an addiction. Just kidding. You have other problems. But seriously, it's obviously not as simple as it may seem just to have Destiny 3. But the fact that so many people are talking about it and so many people are saying, hey, this might be a good idea. I mean, the Destiny 3 talk has been around for ages at this point. And the fact that people are starting to seriously entertain it after all these years should sound some serious alarm bells, and perhaps also give them a couple of ideas to potentially launch episodes as this Destiny 3 thing, or change the marketing, or whatever you want to do. The larger point is that without a good reputation behind Destiny 2, what happens? Player population suffers, which means activities become harder to LFG, which means matchmaking becomes worse, which means the state of the game and playing any one activity just becomes a chore, rather than a varied and fun experience to be had with your friends and family and whoever else. Clans die off, friendships fracture. So many people don't just play this game, they're part of a community. They're part of a culture that's either stems around a group of friends or one of their favorite content creators. When Destiny 2 is healthy, it means so much to so many people that it's worth doing everything in your power to make sure that it is the best version of itself. You want your player base to be excited, you want them to stay, you want them to spend money, but you don't want to force any one of these things from happening. And that's exactly what's been happening in Destiny 2 for the last 3 years. Now, I don't know what the solution is to fixing these problems. I think the idea of suggesting Destiny 3 still feels like a capital G gamer moment, and yet the inescapable truth is Destiny 2 is got so many problems and they haven't been addressed, partially because they haven't been allowed to address them, according to the IGN article. So maybe it is a good idea to bite the bullet, go dark for a couple of years and just release Destiny 3. But again, what the do I know about any of this, really? What do you know even? I'll just repeat what I say with all of these things. All I can do is sit here and talk about it from a player perspective and give feedback about all of this. And my feedback really is this. Get your shit together, Bungie. Sorry, not even Bungie. Upper management. Get your shit together so we can all have fun again. All right? That's it. That's really what it comes down to. But of course, I'm not going to just sit here and gratuitously posit my own thoughts and feelings onto the matter. I want to hear from you. What do you think is the most important thing that Destiny 2 can do to not only retain the existing players, the people who are watching this video, but also to attract new players and make them stay and grow our population? What can they do to shake this rep that they have, that they are predatory and money hungry and doing the bare minimum? And finally, a much bigger question, perhaps an impossible question, have we all collectively outgrown this franchise? Have you? For me, I know I'm still having fun on occasion. I'm just not having as much fun for as long, especially when so many other good stuff is around. That's pretty much it for this video. Again, unscripted, completely off the cuff. I don't know if this can be good. I'm just going to edit this and upload it and hope you guys like it. And if you don't like it, well, I have my cat. And I just woke her up for you. She's not happy about it. Phoebe.